What's up, party people? Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Mediocre Park, and today we're going to be looking at this sleeping staff member. Alright, thank y'all for joining. See you hopefully sometime around next week. I should be able to get out episode 11 pretty quickly, and oh, she's awake. Fuck. I gotta think of a new plan. Alright, I guess we'll take a tour around the park real quick, see what we've got. I was really banking on the sleeping staff member to bring us all the content. Alright, so I guess we'll honestly just do kind of an update of the whole thing since it's been so long. And I guess we'll start with the observation tower. So obviously we have our observation tower kind of in the middle. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on... Whoa, camera, calm down. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this just because, you know, it's been a good while. If I can get the camera to behave, that'd be great. It's been a good while since we've placed this, and there's really not much to talk about that hasn't already been said. But yeah, here it is. In the coming episodes, probably sooner than later, we're gonna start adding some of the landscaping and the like the flowers and stuff. So I'm pretty excited to do that, and like I said, that should be sooner than later. Because I've been developing some cool ideas with that will also play into Cernunnos. And while we're here with Cernunnos, obviously we started some of the terrain work and the rock work and got it to a point where I think I was ready to move on away from it and do other things. But there's definitely still a lot more to be done, and probably around the same time as we do the flowers and stuff around this, we'll be doing stuff with Cernunnos. Probably not in the same episode. I mean, maybe, but probably not, because there's just going to be so much to do for each ride. But yeah, sometime in the very near future, we're going to be messing a little bit more with Cernunnos and making it look pretty. Not that she's not already absolutely gorgeous. I mean, come on. Just look at her. What a pretty girl. But yeah, so this over here, the royal, or sorry, not royal highness, the court jester. I don't entirely know what I'm gonna do with it. Like, it's staying here and it's going to be here, and like this is not moving in any way. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with it as far as scenery and landscaping, because there are just so many things that I could do. I've been debating, you know, covering it with some trees, or, you know, tying it in with this a little more with some decorations, or, you know, a little bit of both, maybe some rock work. I really don't know entirely what I want to do with this, so it's going to be a bit before I think we do something with Court Jester. It'll probably be, honestly, a little bit towards the end of the series, unless I get some crazy inspiration out of nowhere. But yeah, that's what's going on with this. And then in the actual King's Court or Jester's Court, or whatever we're going to end up calling it, our Carnival Fair area, I think right now it's pretty much going to stay like this. I don't want to add like a lot of small signs and things yet. I think that's going to be stuff more for like the end of the park build, where we're just adding like little decorations and really adding those finishing touches. The thing that I will be working on soon, though, is this area with these drop towers. I'm still so conflicted about this. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and carry on with this rock work and repaint this terrain a little bit, and then start working on some scenery around the pathing and stuff, and just see if I like how that turns out. And if I don't, then I'll scrap the whole thing and start over. But we have to do something about it before it's over, and I think that that's where we need to start, is just with the rock work, and just see where that gets us, and how far we can really lean on that. Over here with the kiddie ride, oh yeah, by the way, the drop towers and stuff, that will also be worked on pretty soon. I think the next probably 5-10 episodes are going to be not as much new ride building and a lot more just sprucing up the ones we already have, before we get, you know, way too many rides and it's just like a whole cacophonous mess that I can't even wade through at that point. So it's just going to be a lot of scenery for the next bit. So if that's the kind of stuff you like, awesome. I'll see you every episode every week. If it's not the kind of stuff you like, I'll see you in the next 5 episodes. So we can do a recap of everything that's been done. But yeah, for this kiddie coaster, obviously there's a lot you can do with the kiddie coaster. I don't want to... How can I put this? I don't want to go overboard with this one, but I honestly do want this ride to be one of the more themed rides in the park. I want this to be really nice looking. I mean, it's right near the front of the park. It's right next to Main Street, which we'll talk about in a second because I do have some plans for Main Street as well. But it's just for such like a focal item, I think it needs to look really nice. So I'm gonna put a good bit of effort into making this a really interesting ride to look at and ride, even for, you know, people that aren't necessarily kids. I want it to be an interesting ride. And then over here we have our Top Thrill Dragster King Dakar type coaster with the hydraulic launch. This is probably going to be the only ride we put in during this kind of decorative phase that we're going to be going into, if we put it in at all. So yeah, if you're looking forward to seeing a ride get put in, this will be the one, just because they're so simple to build. They're really gimmicky, which means they're not complicated at all. So yeah, back over towards Main Street. This has been another thing that's kind of been plaguing the park for a while, along with the drop towers. Is just I don't like this. It feels tight. It feels claustrophobic. It feels Europe 1600s type feeling. I don't like it. It's way too tight. So I've actually decided what I'm gonna do with this, unless I come up with a better idea between now and the episode when I plan on working on this. This is my plan. Basically, I'm going to take out some of these central buildings. I'm gonna add pathing to kind of widen this a bit. That way it's not as tight and you can have some breathability, and then I'll have those buildings going around that widened bit. So it's still going to be somewhat closed off, but you're not going to feel like you can't breathe in there. And it's going to feel a lot more organic, I think, when it's done. So I am very excited to do that. And then once that's done, I can finally start working on these areas of the park without constantly looking at this and just being stressed about, oh my God, it still looks like crap. What am I going to do? So yeah, that will definitely be a massive weight off of my shoulders to get that done. And then fixing this little area will probably come at a much later date. Probably like closer to the polishing phase of the park towards the end. And then over here, we have the water rides. These, as lazy as it's gonna seem, this is gonna be a lot of just trees. And I know when you think about that, like, oh, you're just gonna cover everything with trees and it's just gonna be covered in trees. That's lazy. Yes, it is, but at the same time, if it's done right, it can look really nice and really organic. And I think if I place the trees in the correct spots and have little bits of this peeking out, it will look very good. And it's not going to be only trees. It's just going to be a lot of trees. My argument would be, look at, you know, how this station looked when we started and just a few trees were down, and now look how it looks, you know, when you're walking through it. It's just really lush, or not the station, the queue, sorry. It just looks nice when you're in it. And like on an outside perspective, sure, it looks a little lazy, but that's just because nothing else is completed yet. Once everything is completed and everything starts blending together, I think it will look heaps and heaps better than it does right now. So just trust me with that decision. I think trees are going to be the way to go, especially for the flume. This one I'm going to leave a bit more open, both in terms of interpretation and just physically. I want it to be a bit more open, but the flume for sure is going to be covered mostly in trees. And then, like I said, this probably going to be pretty open for the most part, maybe a few trees here and there. Definitely more rocks on this one than the flume, and the flume will have more trees than this will. And I do have a theming idea and some names for these that I'll run by y'all in some future episodes, but not quite yet. So yeah, I think that's just about all of the stuff that we've done and the stuff that we plan on doing. Like I said, the main focus for the next kind of little stretch of episodes, some of you will be happy about this, some of you won't. It's gonna be a lot of scenery and a lot of just placing nature so that the park, now that it has some rides in it, it can feel a little more natural and less like a sandbox, because we still have a lot of paint on the ground, and we still have, you know, just kind of open areas with rides vomited onto them. And while it's much better than how it started, obviously, and it does feel more alive, we still need more. We need the nature aspect of it to come into play, so that it's not just, oh wow, look at all of this pretty nature around it, and then it's, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's gonna do it for episode 10. It's a bit of a short one, but these update ones usually probably will be, unless there's really a lot to cover. But yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to some of the things I revealed. If you have any ideas, please share them with me, either on here, or if you have like any of my socials, Discord, whatever, just DM me. I'd be happy to hear them, because well, I'm clueless. So yeah, let's see if we can find our sleeping staff member real quick. She was down here. Oh my god, she's still here. Oh my god, she's still asleep. Come full circle. Alright, well, I'll see y'all probably next week, as I'm pretty much going to get started on episode 11 right when I'm done recording this. So, yeah, see you then. Bye-bye.